My fiancée accused me of cheating, and her dad and brothers physically attacked me. Now the truth is out, and they want reconciliation, but I am sending them to jail instead. I, 30 a regular American guy working a stable office job, believed I'd found the love of my life a year ago. We got engaged quietly, just family and a few close friends celebrating at a backyard barbecue. At first, everything felt straightforward. Her family seemed pleasant enough, maybe a bit opinionated, but I didn't mind. I shrugged off their subtle hints about my background or my modest income compared to some flashy folks they knew. I was happy to marry their daughter, and that was all that mattered to me. Then, a few weeks ago, everything changed. On a Sunday afternoon, my fiancée demanded we talk. She showed me a series of photos on her phone, grainy, poorly lit images of me leaving a restaurant with another woman. I stared in disbelief. The woman in those photos was just a co-worker I'd had lunch with, nothing romantic at all. But my fiancée wouldn't listen. She called me a cheater, screamed that she'd been warned about guys like me. Her tone was vicious, as if every warm moment we'd shared had never existed. Before I could fully process what was happening, her father and 2 brothers stormed in. They accused me of playing with her heart, of using her, of betraying their family. I tried to explain the misunderstanding, show them text messages proving my coworker was just that, a coworker. But they wouldn't have it. Without hesitation, they attacked me right there in my own living room. Punches flew. A lamp crashed to the floor. I ended up bruised and bloodied, barely able to stand. They left me half-dazed, warning that if I came near their daughter again, they'd do worse. My fiancée stood at the door, arms folded, glaring like I was some disease. She told me the engagement was off, that I was lucky they didn't break my bones. I was stunned. One moment I'd been planning wedding details, and the next I was facing a rage-filled family assault. Hurt and furious, I went to the hospital to patch up my wounds. The doctor asked if I wanted to report the assault. I hesitated, still in shock, but I knew I'd need to protect myself. I called a lawyer friend who advised me to go to the police and document everything. I filed a police report. The officers seemed sympathetic, took photos of my injuries, noted down names. They told me the investigation could take time, but I had a strong case. My lawyer said these were clear-cut charges of aggravated assault. I knew pressing charges would be no small thing. It would blow everything wide open. But after what they did, I didn't see another choice. A week passed in a numb fog of disbelief. Then I got a call from a distant relative of my fiancée, someone who knew something crucial. "You need to know the whole story," he said quietly. I braced myself. I had no idea just how deep the betrayal ran. The next evening, I met that distant relative, an uncle who lived 2 states over, only coming to town for big family events. We met at a diner off the highway. He looked uneasy, glancing around before speaking. "You deserve the truth," he said quietly. "Your fiancée's mother engineered this. She never liked you, never thought you were good enough. She wanted her daughter to marry her friend's son, a wealthy guy with family connections." I leaned forward, heart pounding. "What does that have to do with these fake cheating photos?" I asked. He sighed. "Her mother hired someone to follow you, snap ambiguous pictures, and twist them into a scandal. She fed lies to your fiancée, told her you'd been seen around town with other women, spread rumors you were living a double life. By the time you got home that day, your fiancée was primed to see you as a villain. Her dad and brothers, well, they're hot-headed. She knew if they believed you cheated, they'd lash out, scare you off." I clenched my fists, anger burning hot. They planned this all to break us up, and now I had bruises to prove how well it worked. I asked if he had any proof. The uncle nodded, sliding me a USB drive. There are text messages I intercepted, sent between the mother and her friend. They talk openly about framing you. The mother's words are clear. She wanted you gone so her daughter would be free to marry someone more suitable. Disgust rose in my throat. I thanked him and left, hardly tasting my coffee, focused on what I'd do next. Armed with these messages, I met my lawyer again. He listened, jaw tightening. "This changes everything," he said. "We can show conspiracy, malicious intent. It supports your assault case, proves you were targeted under false pretenses." He advised me to hand the evidence to the police. I did, and the detective's eyebrows shot up as he read through the transcripts. Now they had motive, planning, and a violent aftermath. The mother's involvement turned a simple assault case into something more sinister. A few days later, I got a call from my fiancée's father. He sounded nervous, contrite, saying, "We might have acted rashly. Let's talk." My lawyer told me not to meet them alone. I refused. Then my fiancée texted me, "I'm so sorry, I was confused. Let's try again, please." Now that the truth was out, they wanted to patch things up, pretend nothing happened. Unbelievable. After smearing my name and attacking me physically, now they spoke of reconciliation. They must have realized the legal trouble they were in. I ignored them. My silence drove them to show up at my apartment's doorstep, knocking, begging. I didn't open the door, just called the police to report harassment. My fiancée called again, leaving a voicemail. I had no idea my mother lied. "Please understand, I was manipulated." Her voice trembled, but I couldn't ignore what she'd done, believing them without proof, turning on me in a heartbeat. I scheduled a meeting with the district attorney handling my assault case. He reviewed the new evidence and nodded grimly. "We can pursue not only assault charges against her father and brothers, but also conspiracy and possibly attempted extortion if we find financial arrangements tied to that arranged marriage plan." This was serious. Jail time wasn't just a distant threat. It was a likely outcome for them if convicted. The DA seemed confident. He had texts, a witness, the uncle, and my injuries documented by hospital records. The father and brothers had acted on a fabricated scenario, and the mother set it all in motion. As the legal gears turned, I found myself standing firm. My fiancée sent more messages, voice trembling in every voicemail. I was scared of my family. I didn't know what to do. "Please, let's talk." I listened in silence. If she truly loved me, why did she never ask for my side before letting them beat me? She had a moment to choose trust over blind rage, and she failed. Now, with the truth out, she wanted forgiveness. But forgiveness wouldn't heal my bruises or erase their betrayal. Her family tried a different tactic. A cousin approached me in my office parking lot, urging me to drop the charges. "They made a mistake," he said, palms raised in a pleading gesture. "No one wants a court battle. Just let it go." I refused. A mistake doesn't involve premeditation, lies, and violence. The cousin hinted at compensation. "They'll pay for your medical bills, offer a settlement." I shook my head. I wasn't interested in hush money. They deserved a fair trial, and if found guilty, they deserved the punishment the law prescribed. Soon enough, my lawyer told me the police made arrests. The father and brothers were picked up for assault and battery. The mother was taken in for questioning about the conspiracy. The fiancée wasn't arrested. She hadn't directly assaulted me, but her credibility was shot. I heard that while under questioning, the mother tried to play innocent, claiming she only encouraged her family to protect her daughter's honor. The police had the text, though, showing how she egged them on, planned the fake evidence, and arranged the timing. The father and brothers tried to say they were just defending their daughter's dignity. But the detectives didn't buy it. They knew the difference between defending honor and orchestrating a violent ambush. My fiancée grew desperate. She begged me to meet at a cafe near the courthouse. Against my lawyer's advice, I agreed, so long as I could bring a friend to witness. She arrived looking worn, eyes rimmed red. "I've lost everything," she sobbed. "My family's facing charges. We might lose our home. Please, can't we solve this outside of court?" I stared at her across the table, remembering how easily she believed the worst of me. Her apology fell flat. She had chosen her side when she let them pummel me over a fabricated rumor. I leaned forward, speaking quietly so my friend could hear. "You believe a lie without giving me a chance. You stood by while they assaulted me. I was left bleeding on the floor. Now that the truth is exposed, you want me to drop it and move on." She sobbed, hands trembling. "I was scared of my parents. My mother insisted you were cheating. She said your coworker lunches proved it. I didn't know what to believe." I shook my head. "If you loved me, you'd have asked for my side. You would have demanded proof," confronted me calmly. "Instead, you let them beat me. Now you face the law, not because of me, but because of what you all chose to do." She tried reaching for my hand, but I pulled away. "I'm pressing charges. I'm going through with this. They deserve to face the consequences of their crimes. If you think love means turning a blind eye to violence and lies, then you never understood me at all." She broke down crying. She begged again. But I was done. I stood up, left her at that table, and returned home. In the following weeks, the legal process unfolded. The father and brothers were indicted for assault. The mother faced conspiracy charges. The DA was confident, and my lawyer kept me informed. The family, once so proud and entitled, now squirmed under the scrutiny of the justice system. They tried everything, plea deals, sob stories, but the evidence was too strong. On the day of the trial, I testified calmly, describing the assault and the deception leading up to it. The jury saw the photos of my injuries, read the text messages revealing the mother's plan. They heard testimony from the uncle who'd come forward. They listened to the defense try to spin it as a misunderstanding, but the facts were undeniable. The verdict, guilty. The father and brothers received prison sentences for aggravated assault. The mother got time for conspiracy. They would all have permanent criminal records. My former fiancée, though not criminally charged, lost her standing in the community. People knew what happened. She tried to contact me after the sentencing, but I blocked her number. I refused to entertain any more pleas. In the aftermath, I reclaimed my life. The bruises healed, and I began to trust myself again. I learned a painful lesson. Love without mutual respect and trust isn't love at all. Justice prevailed this time, proving that schemes built on lies and brute force can collapse under the weight of truth. If watching entitled families face real consequences piques your interest, hit that subscribe button. You never know what storm I'll be talking about next.